Everyone panics after 2 weeks without training. Nobody talks about 6 months. That's the timeline you should actually be worried about. You miss a few workouts, then a few more. You look in the mirror, flex your arm. Still there? Good. Because after 2 weeks off, your body is barely flinching. The damage you're terrified of? It hasn't happened yet. But keep disappearing from the gym long enough, and eventually it will. So here's what actually happens to your body when you stop training. From 2 weeks, all the way to a full year, and most of what you believe about losing gains is completely wrong. Let's start with the first 2 weeks. Your muscles are mostly fine. Seriously. Studies on trained individuals show almost no significant muscle loss after 2 weeks without training. None. So why do you suddenly feel weaker? Because your nervous system is getting rusty. Strength is not just muscle size. It's communication. Your brain sends signals through motor neurons to recruit muscle fibers. The more consistently you train, the better your body gets at recruiting lots of fibers at once. That's why movements eventually feel smooth and explosive. Stop training, and that recruitment efficiency starts fading. The muscle is still there. Your body just stops accessing it properly. It's like having a sports car with the engine limited. Now cardio? That drops way faster. VO2 max. Your body's ability to use oxygen efficiently can start declining in as little as 10 to 12 days. That's why stairs suddenly feel personal. You're breathing harder. You feel out of shape, and most people instantly assume they lost muscle. No, you lost conditioning. Those are completely different things. In fact, sometimes a short break actually helps. Your joints calm down, fatigue drops, muscle tissue repairs, satellite cells help rebuild, damaged fibers stronger than before. That's why some people return from a deload week feeling incredible. So, relax. 2 weeks off is not a disaster. Honestly, sometimes it's recovery. Now, let's move to 1 month. This is where things become noticeable. Your cardio is clearly worse. Your lifts feel heavier. Your muscles look slightly flatter. But here's the important part. Most of that size loss is not actual muscle tissue disappearing. It's glycogen and water leaving the muscle. When you stop training, your muscles store less glycogen, and glycogen holds water. Less glycogen means flatter-looking muscles. You look smaller, but you haven't lost nearly as much muscle as you think. Your body is still holding on to most of it, especially if you trained consistently for years. The longer your training history, the more resistant your body becomes to breakdown. Now let's talk about 3 months. This is where it gets uncomfortable, because now the decline becomes obvious. Strength drops harder, endurance crashes, your heart pumps less efficiently, the mitochondria inside your muscle cells, the little engines producing energy, start decreasing. Your body basically switches into low power mode, and this is why returning feels shocking. You jog up 1 flight of stairs and suddenly feel like you're carrying wet cement. Simple workouts crush you. Warm-ups feel difficult. Your body feels heavier, even if your weight barely changed. And mentally, this is the dangerous phase, because you feel the decline before you fully see it. So your brain exaggerates everything. You think, I lost everything. You didn't. You lost recent adaptations, not your entire foundation. And then comes the worst mistake people make after a long break. They restart with no structure, no plan, no progression, just random workouts and vibes. That's how people waste muscle memory, because muscle memory is real. And this is the part almost nobody explains correctly. Every time you train, your muscle cells gain nuclei. These are called myonuclei. Think of them like construction workers inside the muscle. The more training you do, the bigger the construction crew becomes. But don't use this video as permission to disappear for 6 months either. Your future self still has to earn the comeback. I'll see you in the next one.